My name is Carolyn Davis. I'm 67 years old, and last month my 24-year-old nephew Brandon decided he was going to drag me into the 21st century by teaching me how to use TikTok. What he didn't know was that I've been quietly observing TikTok for over a year. I understand it better than he thinks, and I was about to teach him a lesson about assumptions, respect, and why you should never underestimate a woman who raised 3 children, ran a successful catering business for 30 years, and survived disco. This story starts at a family cookout in Atlanta 6 weeks ago. It was one of those beautiful Sunday afternoons where the whole family comes together. My sisters, my brothers, their kids, their kids' kids. Enough food to feed a small army, and the kind of laughter that makes you remember why family matters, even when they drive you crazy. I was in the kitchen with my sister Joyce, putting the finishing touches on my peach cobbler, when Brandon walked in with his phone out, recording. "Auntie Carolyn, say hi to my followers." I looked up, a little startled. "Brandon, what are you doing?" "Making a TikTok. Come on, do something funny." "Baby, I'm making cobbler. That's not exactly comedy material." "Everything's comedy material if you film it right," he said, still recording. My followers love authentic family moments. I wasn't thrilled about being filmed without warning, but I smiled politely and went back to my cobbler. Brandon filmed for another minute, then left to find other content. 20 minutes later, my phone started buzzing. Text messages from my daughter Simone, my son Marcus, my niece Tasha. They were all sending me the same TikTok video. It was me making cobbler, but Brandon had added text over the video. "When your auntie still uses measuring cups, like it's 1952, and boomers be taking 30 minutes to do what millennials do in 5. The video had been up for 15 minutes and already had 3,000 views. I felt my jaw tighten. Not because I was hurt, though I was a little, but because Brandon had filmed me without really asking, posted it without my permission, and then made fun of my cooking process for internet points. I called him over. "Brandon, can we talk?" "Sure, Auntie. Did you see the video? It's already viral." "Well, viral for my account. I might hit 10,000 views by tonight." "I saw it. Brandon, you didn't ask if you could post that." "Oh, come on, it's just TikTok. It's all in good fun. Besides, you looked cute." My followers loved it. "Your followers don't know me, and you captioned it making fun of how I cook." "I wasn't making fun. It was just observational humor. You know, generational differences. It's relatable content." "It's disrespectful content," I said firmly. "You filmed me without asking if I was comfortable with it, posted it publicly, and added captions suggesting I'm old-fashioned and slow. Auntie, you're being sensitive. This is how TikTok works. If you understood the platform, you'd get it." There it was, the assumption that I didn't understand. "Take it down, Brandon." "What? No! It's doing really well. This might be my breakthrough video." "Take it down, or I will make sure you regret it." He laughed. "What are you going to do, Auntie? Ground me? I'm 24. "You'll see," I said calmly. "You have until tonight. If that video isn't down by 8 p.m., you're going to learn exactly how well I understand TikTok." He rolled his eyes and walked away, clearly not taking me seriously. My sister Joyce had been listening to the whole conversation. "Pat, what are you planning?" "Nothing yet," I said. "But if that video is still up tonight, I'm going to show Brandon that I understand his precious platform better than he thinks." "You're on TikTok?" Joyce asked, surprised. "I've been lurking for over a year," I admitted. "Simone showed it to me when it first got popular. I made an account, never posted anything, but I've been watching, learning, understanding how it works." Joyce grinned. "Oh, Brandon's in trouble. Only if he doesn't take down the video." 8 p.m. came and went. The video was still up. It now had 12,000 views and hundreds of comments, most of them laughing about boomer aunties and old people cooking. Brandon had made his choice, so I made mine. I went to my home office. Yes, I have a home office with a ring light and a decent camera because I'd been taking online photography classes during the pandemic, and I started planning. First, I created a new TikTok account. Not my old lurker account, but a fresh one. The username, @AuntieCarolynCooks. Then I spent the next 3 days filming content. Not just any content, strategic, well-researched, algorithm-friendly content. I filmed myself making my famous peach cobbler, but I did it with personality. I talked to the camera like I was talking to a friend. I explained why I use measuring cups, because precision matters, baby. And your grandmother didn't pass down these recipes for you to mess them up with approximations. I showed the finished product golden, bubbling, absolutely perfect. The caption, they call it slow, I call it done right. Number soul food. Number Southern cooking. Number respect your elders. Number cooking TikTok. Number peach cobbler recipe. I filmed myself making my smothered chicken, my mac and cheese, my collard greens. Each video was well lit, well edited, thank you, YouTube tutorials, and designed to appeal to TikTok's younger audience while showcasing genuine skill. But the video I was most proud of was my response to Brandon. I stitched his video, that's what they call it, on TikTok when you reply to someone else's video. The screen split, showing his video on one side and me on the other. I watched myself on his video making cobbler with measuring cups. Then I looked at the camera and said, "This is my nephew Brandon. He thinks using measuring cups is old-fashioned. Let me show you what old-fashioned created." Then I showed clips of every dessert I'd made for family gatherings over the years. Birthday cakes, wedding cakes, pies, cobblers, cookies, professional-level baking. This is what happens when you learn to do things right instead of fast. This is what happens when you respect the process, respect the recipes, and respect the people who taught you. Brandon, baby, I love you. But you're going to learn today that boomer aunties built the foundation you're standing on. Maybe show some gratitude instead of making fun of us for internet points. Number respect your elders. Number know your history. Number boomers did it first. I posted it at 9 p.m. on a Thursday prime TikTok time, according to my research. By midnight, it had 50,000 views. By morning, it had 200,000. By the end of the weekend, it had over 1 million views and had been shared across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive. Drag him, Auntie. Brandon thought he was safe. Never underestimate black aunties. They will humble you. Auntie said, I'm about to teach you a lesson. This is the wholesome call-out content we need. Other creators started stitching my video, adding their own stories about underestimating older family members. Food bloggers were asking for my recipes. Someone started a hashtag, Number Auntie Carolyn Cooks. And Brandon? Brandon called me Saturday morning, his voice a mix of shock and embarrassment. Auntie, your video. Yes, it has 1 million views. I know, it's doing quite well. When did you learn? Brandon, I've been watching TikTok for over a year. I understand algorithms, trends, engagement strategies. I just never posted because I didn't need the validation. But you made it necessary to show you that understanding a platform and underestimating people are two very different things. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I shouldn't have posted that video without really asking you. And I definitely shouldn't have made fun of you. Apology accepted. Now take down your video. I already did. Last night, after yours went viral, I felt horrible. Good. You should have felt horrible. Brandon, you're a sweet kid, but you've gotten so caught up in chasing views and engagement that you forgot basic respect. You filmed me, mocked me, and dismissed my feelings because you thought I didn't understand your world. Well, now you know I understand it just fine. The question is, do you understand mine? He was quiet for a moment. Can we talk? In person? Come over for dinner tonight. I'm making smothered pork chops. Will you film it? He asked, a little hopefully. I laughed. Maybe, if you behave. Brandon came over that evening. He brought flowers and a handwritten apology note, which I appreciated. "Auntie Carolyn, I'm really sorry," he said as soon as I opened the door. "I've been thinking about this all weekend. I was completely out of line." "Come sit down," I said, leading him to the kitchen. "Help me with these green beans." We worked side by side, the way we used to when he was younger, and would help me cook for family gatherings. "Can I ask you something?" he said as he snapped beans. "Of course. How long have you been watching TikTok?" "Since Simone showed it to me in 2020, she said it was funny and creative, so I checked it out. Made an account, never posted, just watched and learned." "Why didn't you ever post anything?" "Didn't need to," I said simply. "I wasn't looking for followers or fame. I just wanted to understand what you young people were so obsessed with. Plus, I learned some good recipes and saw some creative content. It was entertaining." "But you understand it? Like, really understand it? The algorithm, the trends, all of it?" "Brandon, I ran a catering business for 30 years. You think I don't understand marketing? TikTok is just another form of marketing. You create content that appeals to your audience. You use strategic timing. You engage with trends. It's the same principles I use to grow my business, just on a different platform." He looked genuinely amazed. "I never thought about it like that." "That's because you assumed that because I'm older, I couldn't possibly understand. You saw measuring cups and gray hair and decided I was out of touch. But baby, I was building businesses and managing employees when you were still in diapers. TikTok isn't some mysterious magic. It's just communication, and I've been communicating effectively for 67 years. I really underestimated you," he admitted. "You did. And you're not the first, and you won't be the last. But hopefully, you learned something." "I did. I learned that my auntie is secretly a TikTok genius, and I should never cross her." I smiled. The genius part is debatable, but the "don't cross me" part is solid advice. We finished making dinner together. Brandon filmed some of it with my explicit permission this time, and posted it as an apology video. Last week I posted a video making fun of my Aunt Carolyn for using measuring cups. This week she posted a response that got over 1 million views and taught me a very important lesson. Never underestimate your elders. Especially not Black aunties who've been quietly watching and learning while you assumed they didn't understand. "I'm sorry, Auntie. Thank you for teaching me about respect. And for these smothered pork chops, because they're incredible. Number accountability post. Number respect your elders. Number Auntie knows best." That video got 500,000 views and thousands of comments praising him for owning his mistake. But the story doesn't end there. My TikTok account at Auntie Carolyn Cooks continued to grow. Within 2 weeks, I had 100,000 followers. Within a month, 300,000. People were hungry, pun intended, for authentic cooking content from someone who'd been doing it for decades. I started posting regularly. Recipe tutorials, cooking tips, stories about learning to cook from my grandmother. I talked about the history of soul food, the importance of preserving traditional recipes, the love that goes into feeding your family. Brandon became my unofficial social media manager. He helped me with editing, taught me about trends I could participate in, the respectful ones, and collaborated with me on videos. We did a series called Teaching My Nephew, where I showed him how to make family recipes. Those videos were some of my most popular because they showed genuine intergenerational learning and love. In one video, I taught him how to make my grandmother's biscuits from scratch. He struggled with the dough, and I gently corrected him the way my grandmother had corrected me. "Brandon, you're working it too much. Biscuits need a light touch. Like this. How do you know when it's right? You feel it. Some things can't be measured, baby. You just have to learn by doing." At the end of the video, his biscuits were slightly lopsided but golden and fluffy. He took a bite and his face lit up. "Auntie, these are amazing. That's because you made them with patience instead of rushing. See? Old-fashioned techniques work." The comments on that video made me cry. I wish I'd learned to cook from my grandmother before she passed. This is the generational knowledge we need to preserve. Brandon learned his lesson and became better for it. The way she teaches, with love and patience. This is beautiful. A few weeks later, I got a message from a production company. They wanted to talk about developing a cooking show concept featuring me, a modern cooking show with traditional soul food roots and a strong intergenerational element. I called a family meeting to discuss it. Brandon, Simone, Marcus, my sisters, everyone gathered at my house. So, a production company wants to give me a cooking show, I announced. The room exploded. Everyone talking at once, excited, asking questions. Brandon raised his hand like we were in school. Auntie, I have a question. Yes? If you do this show, can I be involved? Not as a host or anything, but maybe behind the scenes? I've learned so much from watching you navigate social media with intention and respect. I'd love to keep learning. I looked at him, this young man who'd gone from mocking me on the internet to genuinely wanting to learn from me, and I smiled. On one condition. Anything. No more filming people without their explicit permission. No more making fun of family for engagement. And you have to promise that if this becomes a show, we do it with integrity. We're not chasing viral moments. We're preserving culture, teaching skills, and showing respect for the traditions that came before us. I promise, he said seriously. I really do. You've taught me that there's a difference between content that gets views and content that matters. I want to help create the kind that does both. 3 months later, we filmed the pilot episode of Auntie Carolyn's Kitchen, where tradition meets TikTok. Brandon was my production assistant, and the show featured me teaching traditional recipes while discussing the cultural history behind them, with guest appearances from family members of different generations. The pilot was picked up. The show premiered 2 months ago and has been a surprise hit, especially among younger viewers who are hungry for authentic cooking content and cultural education. But more than the show, more than the followers, more than any of the external success, what matters most is what Brandon learned, and what I learned too. I learned that sometimes you have to meet disrespect with demonstration, that the best response to being underestimated is to show exactly what you're capable of. That age doesn't determine understanding, curiosity does. Brandon learned that respect isn't automatic just because you understand current technology, that there's wisdom in traditional methods, that the people who came before you built the foundation you're standing on, and you owe them gratitude, not mockery. He also learned that his Auntie Carolyn is not to be underestimated. Ever. Last week, we filmed an episode featuring Brandon's apology journey. We showed his original video with my permission, my response, and then followed it with us cooking together and talking about what we'd both learned. At the end of the episode, Brandon looked at the camera and said, "If you're watching this and you've ever made fun of your older family members for not understanding technology or being old-fashioned, I want you to think about something. These are the people who taught us how to read, how to cook, how to love. They survived and thrived without the technology we take for granted. They built communities, raised families, created culture. Maybe instead of mocking them, we should be learning from them. And maybe, just maybe, they understand more than we give them credit for." I added, "And if you're an older person watching this who feels intimidated by new technology or like you can't keep up, I want you to know something. You absolutely can. You built the skills to learn anything. Technology is just tools, and you've been using tools your whole life. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're too old to learn or too out of touch to matter. You matter. Your knowledge matters. Your experience matters. And anyone who says otherwise hasn't learned to respect their elders yet." The episode went viral in the best way. We trended on Twitter. Articles were written about intergenerational healing through cooking content. Universities reached out about using the show in sociology classes. But my favorite response came from a young woman who commented, "I made fun of my grandma for not knowing how to use Instagram last week. After watching this, I called her and apologized. Then I asked her to teach me how to make her famous pound cake. We're filming it together tomorrow, and I'm going to post it with respect this time. Thank you for teaching me that our elders deserve honor, not mockery." That comment has over 50,000 likes. Yesterday, Brandon and I were in my kitchen filming a new episode. We were making my grandmother's sweet potato pie, the recipe that's been passed down through 4 generations. "Auntie," Brandon said as he peeled sweet potatoes, "can I ask you something?" "Always." "Do you forgive me for that first video?" I stopped what I was doing and looked at him. "Brandon, I forgave you the moment you apologized sincerely and showed me you were willing to learn. That's what family does. We mess up, we own it, we grow from it. I just feel like I wasted so much time chasing views and engagement when I could have been learning from you all along." "You weren't ready to learn then," I said gently. "Sometimes we have to make mistakes before we're ready to receive wisdom. The important thing is that you're learning now." "I really am," he said. "And not just about cooking or TikTok, about respect, about tradition, about why the old ways matter even in a new world. The old ways and the new ways don't have to be enemies," I said. "They can work together. That's what we're doing, honoring tradition, while using modern tools to share it. That's the bridge your generation needs to build. With your generation's help," he added. "With our help," I agreed. "But only if you ask respectfully instead of assuming we don't understand." He smiled. "Lesson learned, Auntie. Lesson definitely learned." We finished making the pie together. It turned out perfect, just like my grandmother's, just like my mother's, just like mine have always been. Brandon filmed the final product, and we both took a bite on camera. "This," Brandon said to the camera, "is what happens when you stop rushing, start respecting, and learn from the people who've been perfecting their craft for decades. This pie is perfect because my Auntie Carolyn learned from her grandmother, who learned from her grandmother, and now I'm learning from her. That's what real tradition looks like. Not old-fashioned, timeless, and delicious," I added. "And delicious," he agreed, laughing. The episode ends with us sitting at my kitchen table, eating pie, and talking about the recipes we want to feature next season. It's genuine, it's loving, and it's everything that first video wasn't: respectful, thoughtful, and honoring the relationship between us. That's what I want people to understand from this story. Technology changes, platforms come and go, but respect, tradition, and the wisdom of those who came before us, that's forever. And if you're lucky enough to have elders who are willing to teach you, don't mock them, learn from them, because one day you'll be the elder, and you'll want the same respect you should be giving now. Brandon learned that lesson. I hope everyone watching learns it too. And if they don't, well, I've got a TikTok account with over 500,000 followers now. I know how to use it. And I'm not afraid to teach another lesson if I need to. Because that's what aunties do. We teach. With love, but we teach. Like this video if it touched something in you. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories about what it means to be human, to be family, and to choose love, even when it's complicated. I'll see you next time.